Transformers War for Cybertron. Ooh, what have we got? Let's have a peek, shall we? Why settle for a peek when you can see everything on Hamman Reviews? You got the touch. Get a load of this, would you? I decided to start in vehicle mode on this one because this is how he comes packaged. The real deal, the big show, the main event, the Winnebago of doom. Oh God, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't this just one of the, this is gonna be one of the dumbest things that Transformers has ever tried to pull on us. And I love it so much. Even as a kid, I loved it. I guess that was the whole point, really. I can remember being like, whoa, I wish I had that camper van. We'd have so many cool hot rodding adventures. Apparently I was Muscle Man as a kid. Hot rod's the coolest. Do you know who else likes hot rod? My mom. Was it meant to be some kind of crazy futuristic semi, or was it literally supposed to be the Winnebago that it's been dubbed, and I think we all think of it as? Do you feel the need for speed and comfort? Have we got the product for you? Winnebago, yeah, Winnebago. I've heard a lot of people complain and say that it feels like it should go in much deeper than it does, like the, you know, the car to the trailer, and it probably should. Like, I don't feel like you should be able to see that, but it still looks pretty dope on the whole. I'm happy with it. I've tried my best to get all of this stuff to sit completely flush and gap free, but I can't quite make it happen. Also, you can already see here a little bit of paint chippage, so just be aware of that. That happened on just transforming it, so make sure you've got proper clearance from this, because this is obviously just painted plastic. To take them apart, it feels like it's got one of those like Skylinks tabs, but it sort of doesn't super really. It kind of just pulls out. It does stay in there really well, and it separates quite easily, so let's put that to the side for a moment and have a look at Rodimus in just his slightly bigger, chunkier hot rod mode. I think this is fine, right? Like, it looks like a beefed up hot rod. I can live with that. It's just so rock and roll. If you had to pick, like, you know, a vehicle to embody hair metal, it'd have to be this, right? For a quick vehicle mode comparison, just for the sheer nostalgia value, what was the modern G1 Renaissance in updated figures, here he is with Classics Hot Rod. For a big boy size comparison, let's go ahead and just roll in Siege Ultra Magnus. You know, they look pretty cool together. I feel like that's some good scaling on these two. Rodimus definitely has much more heft to him than Magnus, but they look good together. Man, if you're a Decepticon, you wouldn't want to see this barreling towards you, would you? So, if you're going to come with a great honkin' trailer like this, you're going to want this to have some bang for its buck. Let's see how we get some play pattern integration in vehicle mode with this beast. I'm not going to lie, I am pretty sold on this. I'm a sucker for fold-out secret compartment battle base station, what have you, whatever you want. I'm on board. So the first thing we've got here, hello, is a little secret hatch where, I don't know, I guess you could put some of the blast effects, but I thought it was a cool place to put a little friend. If we come around to the back, this underside here, and slide this out, we've got even more built-in storage where you can store some of the blast effects. Not all of the blast effects, but some of them. I'm not 100% sure what these ports are actually for. Could this be sword storage maybe? Let's have a look. Not quite. Not quite for sword storage. And they don't work for gun storage either. And if you fold the gun up, it's too tall. So, whilst that's nifty, it does seem like a little bit of a missed opportunity. While we're here, let's get these out. It's an interesting environmental choice to have horrible black smog effects, but on camera like this, oh, they're so shiny. So let's say you feel like making Rodimus into a Captain Planet villain. To me, they feel like, should they not have maybe been flames, right? Does it not feel, even from the shape of them, maybe they were originally intended to be flames? I'm just having a hard time getting on board with the smoke. Should you so desire, you can also take these and have some gas guzzling action when he's separated as well. He also comes with a veritable bevy of blast effects for you to choose from. I think it's weird that you've got the storage for, like, you know, the smoke bits and the matrix shine, and then you're just left with a big handful of these great globules. You can go ahead and give him some turbo action. Hot stuff coming through. If we come around to the back again, alright, cool little gas lift thingies, just like a real trailer would have. I don't know. It's metal. They slide. It's cool. I'm sold on that. There we go. Fold that up. Got a ramp. Can't really fit anyone in there at the moment. You can get a MicroMaster in there, sideways. But it does have a connector port for some bass building action, which is nifty. And, you know, the customary arrow this way, out. And then the opening of the trailer, I think, is sort of more a vehicle mode, more a robot mode kind of deal. But if we go ahead and take this piece out, right, and close that back up, then open this again, right, that's a lot more space now. It's pretty awesome to finally have a trailer that can do the trailery things that you need it to do. Okay, and now Cliff Jumper's ready for holiday. Oh, that's noisy. Out you come, mate. So also in this mode, if you have it emptied out, and you've got this thing, you can go ahead and get like a little roof gunning action happening. Right, that's an undeniably cool look, especially because this can swivel. And just while we're on the subject of rolling death machines, I will say for a Kingdom figure, he has a lot of weaponizer ports kind of all over him, which opens up some interesting possibilities. How's this for a little rolling slice of madness? We have fun, don't we? Pew 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 pew! Maximum overkill! How much fun is that? Come on now. Could Optimus do this? No, I don't think Optimus could do this. Alright, I think that's enough Doom Tank. Let's get into some robot mode action, shall we? The transformation on this guy is really quite impressive. I swear some of the steps and maneuvers and shapes that you throw are right out of one of his many transformation sequences that he had through the movie. Well, I guess Rodimus only had the one transformation sequence, but I feel like some of the things that happen here happened in the movie. On the movie and then in the real life. I come around and get these little red bits here and flip them forward on both sides. And this can just lift up, and then this windscreen can just lift up. You just kind of want them, you know, away and loose for now. And again, be wary of chipping that paint. Alright, then we're gonna untab these arms. And just pull these to the side, pull them down, then flip in these little chesto-bittos and bring this whole section down. Then I find what's next is best to come down to the feet, get these folded up and out the way, then we can separate the legs, open up these pieces, and then you can just pull this whole sheboygan down. Get these legs out the way. Then we can give the waist a twist. You need to make sure you've got clearance to get this piece all the way down, because then these arms will twist around separate to the waist. Yeah. Then if you come back around to the legs, these wheels will actually collapse down inside of this piece. Then we want to get this wheel bit to sit in that hollow there. So we just pop that down, snap that inside, and pop that around. Get that, and pop it down inside. And close that up and around. Then you can just unfold the foot, put it back into place. And that's his legs done. then this is some clever chicanery down in here. So you want to fold this bit down until that clicks in, and then there's a divot there where that'll tab in to get it to wiggle right. So you just want to come in and you want to line this up just so when you push, it'll all click in like that. Now what you can do is spin that head around and collapse that chest up and into place. Getting this last bit in can be really tricky because you've got to get this little tab to sit in that groove. Sometimes easier to push it from there before you come up and sit it in here. Push that down, push these pieces in flat, come around to the back, and we can tab that in. Oh, God, that is so snug. And there we've got his torso in place. Last thing we need to do is sort out these handsies. What you want to do is fold that down, fold this whole piece up, rotate it around, slot there for these tabs, pluggity, plug. And then the last thing you want to do is take each arm, just give it a stretch, just to give it that tiny bit more clearance for posability. It's not a lot, but you appreciate it. Do this. So the wheels, right, split like that, come around, collapse down, and clip on for like a tighter fit, which is just like a really little nice piece of engineering there. And here we have Rodimus Prime, all rough and ready to light our darkest hour. End of the road, Galvatron. Pointy Pointatron. I know it's a little thing, but God, this is undeniably satisfying. Just pointing at people. Point, point, point. Elliot. That head sculpt is just fantastic. I love all the extra surface detail he's got because he's part of this line. That's something that you don't super get in the 86, with the exception of, you know, Grimlock really. And for how much he sort of folds away in on himself and things, he is amazingly sturdy. He's got fantastic joint tension. He's got so many nice subtle apps, like, you know, his ears and eyebrows are a different red to his head. On his like waist, we've got the two-tone reds going on. The flame decal on his chest is just so crisp and perfect. The metallic silver on his arms just looks great. It all looks fantastic. The only thing that might stand out a little bit is his painted thighs. They're a little more glossy than everything else, but it's not a big deal because it sort of matches the chest gloss a little bit. In terms of posability, that head is on a bowl joint, so you can get a good range out of there. And then on top of that, he's got an extra articulated back and forward on his neck, so you can get him looking like quite far up, and also then quite far down. And what's cool as well with the neck joint is you can have that real like no one knows sorrow like me Rodimus, like deep inside the collar, like heavy hangs the head that bears the matrix. The only downside of that is it can be sometimes hard to get his head to sit where you need it to without it catching on the collar a little bit, but that's not a huge deal. The shoulders, which is awesome, has a little bit of a butterfly to it to aid in that matrix bearing burden. You know, if you get around his awesome, you know, shoulder flareage, the wings, you can get 360 out of the arms. The elbow is on like a double joint with a swivel in the middle of it, so you can get some real tight bends out of that arm. It is in fact tight enough and posable enough to be able to do a special beam cannon fire. The wrist swivels, but you know, his wrist accoutrement do get in the way a little bit. These fingers are on like a double bend for the 3 with the ability to do the point of doom. Fixed thumb, which when you're making a fist, the fixed thumb can be a bit of an issue to get clearance from that finger. I can see over time that's going to end up putting strain on that tiny joint, and some of these Rodimi I could see end up losing a finger. His wrist can also hinge in, which is just a really nice piece of articulation. The way mine came packaged, that index finger was tucked all the way behind the thumb, and I honestly thought I was gonna break it or, you know, smash and scratch the plastic getting it past, because they are quite soft. But on the whole, you know, worth it for the pointy point. Now he also has, I don't know if it's intentionally or incidentally or something I've done wrong with the transformation, but ever so slightly, he has an ab crunch. These shoulders hinge up pretty high, but you know, his own head gets in the way of his shoulders, which is acceptable. You can still get the extra range you need for a fusion dance if you twist the arm around, which is cool. If we come on down, he gets a pretty good waist swivel. Not perfect, but who cares, because people generally don't go more than sort of 90 degrees each side anyway, so I'm fine with that. I had thought initially when I first saw him that these were gonna be like skirt panels, which I don't like, but then, oh, it's a recessed hip. That is incredible for how flush that sits. To get that kind of movement out of it, that's a thing of beauty, that is, and you get a little bit back too, which is just great. And then there is a skirt flap on the side, so that you can get him out wider. He doesn't go super wide, right? He's not quite Van Damming it, but he's definitely hitting that jean shorts level of motion. We take a look at the knee, and that is double jointed, so that you get quite a lot out of that there. Really nice. You can isolate them and go deep, or you can use the two together, get around further, so that's a fantastic range of motion. Right, where he connects to his pants, his footy shorts, he's also got a thigh swivel there. So all of that sort of like, this leg articulation is not hidden, but just so smoothly integrated that you almost don't notice it's there. It's a thing of beauty. And with the foot, you get a little bit of forward and back. You get quite a bit of forward, a little bit of back, and pretty good out to the side. Would have been nice if it had one of those little semicircle space fillers, so it looks like there's more connecting his foot to his leg, but nobody's perfect. Now, our boy is by no means hard up for accessories. Let's start with his inbuilt accessories, shall we? Matrix action. So, whilst we've got his matrix out, let's take a look at his matrix compatible accessory. You too can recreate your favorite moments from the film. So what's interesting about this one, I think, is that it's actually made out of quite a hard plastic compared to a lot of other blast effects, which is cool because you don't really want these, like, you know, light rays to get bendy, because that'll ruin the whole I'm about to bust up Unicron effect. Light out, darkest hour. It's just always such a satisfying maneuver to be able to pull. Iconic! You can also just get it to stay in his chest when it's open, like he's doing a weird Cybertronian version of the thing. And while we've got him here like this, why don't we grab Studio Series Hot Rod and see if we can get a little like Bruce Banner Hulk action going. Arise, Rodimus Prime. Now he comes with his gun, which I'd hoped was going to be the two guns that you could join together. It wasn't, which is a little disappointing, but anyway, he can rifle it up. You can have him do it one-handed. You can get some double-handed action. You filthy rat, you killed my brother. Keep the change, you filthy animal. I quite like this slung across his back. It gives a little bit of like a da-na-na, da-na-na, na-na, da-na-na, na-na-na-na vibe. Then he also comes with this really cool looking sword, which I don't sort of think of as being, you know, super Rodimus-y, but whatever. It's cool. It looks really good in his hand when you can get it to fit in. Time out, time out, time out. I find his posability really lends itself to the sword. It's a great accessory for him. Should you also desire it, you can spin him around, pop out the 5mm peg from that sword, and he can have a little classic sword back action, which I'm also a big fan of. Especially because he has the articulation to be able to grip it. So let's do a couple of comparisons with some other crew, see how they shape up. Hey there, little buddy. Not so easy, is it? They look great together. Optimus Prime is a little bit taller. Rodimus is a little chunkier. I'm glad that Optimus is a little bit taller. I know he's a Commander class figure, but I'm more about scale than price point. So I think they look sick together. Optimus, forgive me. No! Here he is alongside acting Matrix Bearer, Ultra Magnus. They look so cool together. Ah, phenomenal. And then finally, let's take a look at him with, you know, the rest of his season 3 and 4 and movie buddies. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the graduating class of 1986. As we go on, we remember. That, my friends, is a good-looking bunch of robots, right? Ugh, big fan. So just before we go whole hog into having a look at how his robot mode integrates with the trailer, I just wanted to quickly show off something you can do with that, you know, gun turret. You've got this tab here and this port here that correspond with these two. So you can go ahead and actually give him, you know, a backpack of doom for doomy doom purposes. And I think that's quite a lot of fun. Even just sitting over his shoulder like that, you know, that's quite the display of force for Roddy to be chucking out into the world. Rodimus of war. Until the war is won, Rodimus will have some fun. Rodimus of war. Now, to go ahead and get this trailer into its gun platform mode, it's not too hard. There's no trick to it, it's just a simple trick. So, first you want to pop these halves down, then you want to come around here, make sure that stays up, but then we're going to fold this down. Have that closed, and then that platform bit will extend out there. I think it would be really nice if it actually went flat. It keeps making me feel like I've done something incorrectamundo, but that's how it goes. The instructions are a little bit kind of unclear about what the point of this whole part is. When it shows you how to transform it into this mode, they leave this here. When it's showing you the reverse transformation, it has this bit down here like this. I guess do what you want. Maybe that could be there and then, trapdoor. I don't know. Maybe it's a little blast window. I guess you can have it kind of however you like. I like this. I think this makes sense because then you could, you know, still have some mini-cons blast off if you've bought some ground support with you. Whee! Then we're gonna go ahead and grab that gun turret, and we can put that in here. So that post will go into that round bit with a bit of finagling. There we go. So, you know, when it's closed with this in it, that's how that sits. Then open that bit up, hold those handles up, put out those little blast shield bits. Now to finish the look off, just go ahead and get Rodimus, get him to grab those handles. He's good to go. Come on. It's hard not to like that, right? Oh God, I don't know what it is. The trailer really is very hunky, very basic, but there's something so beautifully toyetic about it that I really do find myself loving the play pattern, like the integration, the playability of it all. I really didn't think it was going to work for me, but it super is. Now, I don't know if you've clocked it yet, but this thing is absolutely jam-packed with 5mm ports. I think we can really have some fun with this Make Your Dad sled. Hey, come on. How much fun is this? This is some great play pattern integration. Shooting, 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 rolling while I'm shooting. Here's a quick look at Rodimus doing the base building gimmicky thing. Tried to get a little bit of like a Energon refinery outpost thing going on, so you know, Rodimus shows up, can connect, Micromasters can load him up with the Energon that they're refining, and then he and Skylinks can take it where it needs to be to help the Autobot cause. I'm not 100% sure, honestly, how sold I am on this integration. Like, you know, Skylinks' base mode was phenomenal and a wonderful surprise in addition to his kind of dealio. Rodimus's works cool as a battle station. Maybe he's shown up to add a little extra firepower because they're worried about a Decepticon ambush or a raid or something. I mean, it works in the base building system, but I've seen better. And then, you know, if that configuration doesn't quite cut it, you can always go for a crazy gun dragon of doom. Alright, well, I think that is pretty well a wrap on Commander Class Rodimus Prime. That was a real deep dive on that one. So, I guess the real question is does he feel like he's worth that Commander Class price point and worth being our only Commander Class figure of the year? And I gotta tell you, I think he is. I think he is. Right, the degree of engineering involved and the parts count in like Rodimus himself to get him doing what he does the way that he does it. And he does it well. And then the trailer, in all the pictures I've seen, I've been like, that has got to be the lamest excuse to bump him up to a Commander price point that I have ever seen. Just when you look at the size of Jetfire and everything you got with Jetfire and then Skylinks, it seemed to me initially like there is no way there is enough going on here with this to make this, dope as it is, worth being a Commander Class figure. But honestly, I can tell you now, having, you know, got to the end of the review, this is going to be a nightmare to cut together because I've almost had too much fun with the trailer and all the different play patterns and play options and display things, and just, it really does. If the trailer was something that for you was almost making this a bit of a deal breaker, it's fun, right? It's really fun, and I think it's worth it to have a Rodimus Prime that scales this well and just throws such good looking shapes and silhouettes. Just everything about him is just phenomenal. The sculpt, the posability, the paint apps, he just is a real primo deluxo Domo Origato Mr. Roboto. I could do this all day. I really could. Whoosh. All goddamn day. Thank you so much for watching if you're still here at this point. If you're new to the channel, I would love it if you could throw a like and a sub my way. Help us grow, grow, grow. I guess you know what that means. End of the road, Ham Man. You got the power!